put their locations. That some people have their locations beside their names. That really does help, because typically what I would have done is I'd like us to use the chat box. Just let us know where you're joining us from. But I see someone from Montreal. I see someone from Singapore. Interesting. From Mauritius. Interesting. Awesome. From Addis Ababa. Wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much. From Algeria. Whoa. I feel like I'm standing in front of the world right now. But it's amazing to have everyone here. Thank you so much for this opportunity to talk about this program. I love talking about this program. And this is because I know that it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for people. So yes, I'm going to share my screen right about now. Please let me know as soon as you can see my screen. There we go. You should see it now. Can we see my screen?
It's loading. I think it's just black now. Oh, there you go. Yeah, we can see it.
Awesome. She said, my name is Odun and I work as the project coordinator for admissions and recruitment at the Accelerated Cybersecurity Training Program of the Rogers Cybersecure Catalyst of Ryerson University. I know it's a mouthful, but I'll break all of that down to us in a second. So the Rogers Cybersecure Catalyst is Ryerson University's National Center for Innovation and Collaboration in Cybersecurity. What does this mean in simpler English? It just means that we're a not-for-profit organization and we're owned by Ryerson University. That is it. So moving on from who we are, what we do is we collaborate with industry experts, we collaborate with the government, with academic institutions, and the goal of this collaboration is to help educate Canadians and Canadian businesses on how to tackle the challenges of cybersecurity. Whether we want to accept it or not, cybersecurity is predominantly a big issue right now across the world. We wake up every day, we hear about there's a data breach somewhere, there is a malware attack, there's a ransomware attack somewhere, and these things happen on a daily basis. I'm going to bust your bubble. And I'm going to ask a question. How often do you think people get hacked? I want to know what are our thoughts within the group. Please use the chat box. How often do you think that people get hacked? I am checking. Let's see. What do you think? Very often, every hour, every day, every second. Okay. Was almost hacked a month ago. There you go. People, individuals, companies, everything, right? So yes, I'm glad that I see these answers, and this just goes to say that people are on top of things. You are also abreast of what is going on in the world around you. But yes, the truth is that every 39 seconds, somebody gets hacked. There is an attempt to hack somebody. And I have a very recent example that happened to me. Well, not me directly, but happened to my husband. He was home and then he just randomly went to his credit card statement and he saw that someone had done a transaction of $2,700 on his credit card. He had the credit card in his hand. You know, I mean, if he lost his wallet or his credit card, you could argue that someone picked up the credit card, right? But that didn't happen because he had the credit card with him. But then someone still went ahead to make a transaction with his credit card. So that means that somewhere, it could have been through any of the online e-commerce sites where he bought something or, you know, registered his credit card somewhere, but it could have even been through PayPal or anything, right? We don't know how whoever got the details got it, but there was that transaction. But thankfully, he caught it very quickly and we're able to reverse the transaction. But imagine how often this happens to a lot of people. They're not able to catch it. We call it fraud, we call it all kinds of things, but it happens within the cyberspace. And so it is a cyber attack. We have over 4.6 billion active internet users in the world. All these 4.6 billion people are vulnerable to attacks. And since COVID started, it has even gotten worse. Cyber attacks have increased by 300%. So now, why am I telling you all of this? I need you to understand the importance of cybersecurity in our world today. Whether you choose to embrace it or not is up to you. But I assure you, it is a prevalent issue in the world today, and this field will continue to grow. Now, do you want to be part of the people who are making a difference in their world, or do you just want to look? I don't know. But you choose your path at the end of the day, right? But what I'm doing here is just to let you understand how important cybersecurity is. We all have several devices connected to the internet at every point. I have my phone, my watch, my two computers. I have two computers in front of me right now. And both of them belong to me. I am working actively on both. So what does this mean? It just means that all of these connected devices as well has also increased our chances of being hacked. It has increased our vulnerabilities, and it just keeps getting worse because we're largely dependent on the internet now. If someone had told me 3 years ago that I will be having an info session from the comfort of my home, I probably would have said, no, that's not true. That's not going to happen, right? Because all info sessions used to be in person. It was fun being in person. We won't take away that part. But this has happened. Several info sessions have happened at home, and everyone is listening in. You can do other things while you're listening in. People are getting information. The world is moving. So you see, whether we want to accept it or not, we're largely dependent on the internet, and we're going to continue to depend on the internet for our existence, right? Several small and medium-scale organizations have been victims of different kinds of attacks. Some don't talk about it, some talk about it. There was an Equifax data breach that affected over 147 million customers. One of Canada Post suppliers also got hacked very recently. Even a hospital in Toronto, Humber River Hospital, got hacked, and it was so bad that they had to declare a code gray at the time in the hospital. But imagine what that would mean for patients in the hospital at that time, the panic, the chaos in a hospital. But these things are happening. The hackers have no mercy. They don't care. They can't be bothered. I heard very recently that there is actually a country, I refuse to mention the name of that country, but it's in Europe. There is something called a hackers hub. So I feel like, a bunch of hackers would just have a glass of wine, and they're like, oh, so what strategy did you use today? And then another person goes, oh, wow, you have no idea. All I did was, I don't know, they just talk about all kinds of funny stuff. And I'm just imagining that they're human beings like us, right? They are human beings like us. They are diverse in the way that we are diverse as well. They have different perspectives. They think about things differently, but they're like us. But anyway, so we've identified that these challenges are prevalent. We've identified that in Canada, the cybersecurity workforce is lacking some people. Some people are underrepresented in the cybersecurity space, and we've said, or we're committed to actually helping these people launch their careers in the cyberspace, in the cybersecurity field. We see that women are highly underrepresented in the cybersecurity field in Canada. Only 10% of the cybersecurity workforce in Canada are women. Can you beat that? Only 10%. So in partnering with our partners, which is the Government of Canada, Rogers, RBC, City of Brampton, Ontario, we have identified these groups of people who are underrepresented, and we're trying to bring diversity into the cybersecurity field. When I say we want to bring diversity, it means we want to bring women into cybersecurity. We want to bring newcomers, people who are new in Canada. We want to bring you into cybersecurity because we understand that you have a fresh perspective. You have a different set of eyes. You will bring fresh ideas from wherever in the world you're coming from. So we want you to come into cybersecurity. We want people who want to change their careers. So for example, maybe you worked as a librarian, or maybe you worked as a customer service person, or maybe as an administrative person, whatever it is that you've worked. We're saying to you that regardless of your background, we just want you to come into cybersecurity because we know that you are bringing in fresh set of ideas, a fresh set of eyes into that space, which could help put a different spin on things. The hackers that we are supposedly fighting against, yeah, it's a war. Actually, we're in a war with hackers. But the people that we are actually, trying to fight against are also very diverse. And the challenges that you will be tackling in the cybersecurity space are very diverse. Today, you face a data breach. Tomorrow, there's a ransomware attack. So it could be anything, right? So as diverse as those challenges are, that's also how diverse we want the workforce to be, so that you are tackling this thing from the different perspectives that they should be tackled from. We do have over 60% of our students are female. We have people with different education backgrounds. So some people have IT backgrounds, some do not. Some have previous work experience, some do not have. Matter of fact, right now in the cohort that is ongoing, we do have someone who is fresh out of high school. Yeah, fresh out of high school. He's also from Alberta, just so that you know. But he's also from Alberta. So this just goes to say that we really do want diversity. So he's in the same group or in the same cohort with some people who have master's degree, but he's pulling his weight.
Sorry to interrupt, Adonola. I think the screen is just stuck at the first slide. So if we can upload it again, because we can't see.
You see now?
The slides. It's just loading slowly. Yeah, I can see it from my end. I know that some people in the chat said that it's also stuck, but I think it's working. It should be working right now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Please let me know as soon as you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see the screen. It's saying bringing diversity to cybersecurity.
Okay, so we're good.
Yes,
we're all good.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, no problem.
That wasn't a malware attack. It was just the network.
Yeah.
Okay, so in helping people launch their careers in cybersecurity, we have partnered with SANS and GIEC. SANS, if you do know anything about cybersecurity, you would agree with me, actually. You will know that they are the world's leading cybersecurity training organization. So think about cybersecurity training, think about cybersecurity information, think about SANS. They are your go-to. And they also deliver GIEC certifications. GIEC is like one of the industry leaders as well in cybersecurity certifications. So at the end of this training program, what you will be getting will be 3 GIEC certifications. If you also know anything about cybersecurity, you would agree, or you would also know that certifications in this field are a big deal. Certifications validate your knowledge. They validate whether you actually know what you say you know. I like to use a very interesting analogy for certifications, and certifications are to your resume what makeup is to women generally, or to anybody who puts on some makeup. Why do you put on some makeup? Some put on makeup because they want to feel confident. Some put on some makeup because they feel like they want to look prettier, you want to look brighter, whatever it is that's your reason for putting on some makeup. Imagine that that's what certifications would do on your resume. Because when a recruiter sees certifications like this on your resume, they want to talk to you, right? They're interested in you because your resume has become more attractive, has become brighter. Your resume, imagine that it has a life of its own, and it has become more confident because you're putting it out there with certifications. It means that you know what you say you know, or you're validating what you say you know. That's what certifications will do for you. And more importantly, these certifications are actually world-recognized certifications. Very recently, the government of Canada released like a cybersecurity career guide, and then they listed about 32 certifications thereabouts in that career guide. And of all those certifications, about 50% of the certifications listed are GIEC certifications. What does this say to you? It says to you that GIEC is definitely a leader in that space. And so you will be leaving this program with 3 of these certifications. The first one is the Foundations Cybersecurity Technologies, that is GFAC. The second one is Security Essentials, that is GSEC. And then the third one is the Certified Incident Handler certification. So 7 months, 3 certifications, you're ready to launch your career in cybersecurity. Don't worry. I know you're probably thinking, I don't have a technical background. How would I survive? I'll get there. There are lots of people who do not have technical backgrounds as well, and they're doing this thing. They've done it. They're already working in the cybersecurity field. So yeah, if they could do it, then you can do it. But I'm sure that has probably answered some people's questions. But what I would also say is go on SANS websites, this cybersecurity skills roadmap, just look at it. Expose yourself to the different aspects of cybersecurity. Because if you do want to build a career in cybersecurity and you're not from an IT background, you may need to do a lot of research so you understand you may not understand all that it entails, but you know what you're getting yourself into. To say that cybersecurity is a walk in the park will be a joke. That is not true. But is it doable? Absolutely doable. So to more details of the program, like I said, it's a 7-month program. It is intensive. I promise you, it is intensive. It's intensive. It's accelerated. Within 7 months, you will be getting 3 certifications. So yes, it is intensive, but it has been designed to give you the skills that you need to launch an entry-level career in cybersecurity. So don't worry if you do not have a technical background. You will be equipped with the skills that you need to get started. Now, it's one thing to get started. It's another thing to grow. At this point, your growth will be largely dependent on you. But are we able to help you get started? Yes. But then afterwards, it will be up to you to continue to keep yourself informed, to learn. You have to be committed to learning for you to grow in the field of cybersecurity. But the foundation that you need to be able to get started, the solid foundation that you need to grow a successful career in cybersecurity, this program will give to you. If you think that you can do it, then yes, you can. And if you think that you cannot do it, then maybe you cannot. But the truth is, if you want to build a skyscraper in your cybersecurity career, you can. And if you think that you want to stop at a townhouse, that's also fine. It's all up to you. But with the skills required, you'll be getting from this program. This program, again, is a tuition-free program. So that obviously makes it very interesting. Each of the training courses that you will be taking and the certification goes to about $30,000. But remember I said we partnered with the government of Canada, Rogers, RBC, and the city of Brampton. And with the help of our partners, we have been able to waive off the tuition completely. So you do not get to pay any tuition on this program. But then if you get admitted into the program, like you go through the application process and then you are successful, and then we say to you, you can now be part of the program. At that point, you will be paying a registration fee of $500. You also need to commit to this, however little, right? So you will be paying that registration fee of $500, and that will be all. All of your books, all of the materials that you need through the program, we will send to your location physically, yes. So you only get to pay $500. There is no application fee as well. So you don't get to pay anything to apply. Application is free. Just apply if you want to apply. But you only pay $500 if you get admitted into the program. So we have 3 cohorts per year. We have the February, the June, and the October cohorts every year. Right now, we're taking applications for the June cohort, and that will be closing in the first week of April. I think somewhere around April 3rd or 4th. That's when the applications for the June cohort will be closing. But of course, we still have the October cohort coming up. So if you're thinking this is not enough time for you to make a decision, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to share a link with us later on where you can put in your details if you want to register your interest for the October cohort. But right now, we are taking applications for the June cohort. And the program will be delivered in a hybrid format. So I know a lot of us are in different, I see people from Manitoba, I see people from Edmonton, people from different parts of Canada. Obviously, we don't expect you to come all the way to Ontario, no. Just be in the comfort of your home, which is what the world has come to rely on lately. And you are still bossing this thing, you're doing it. 3 weeks of the 7 months will be instructor-led sessions, or boot camp as the case may be. But afterwards, you'll be doing a lot of self-study. Now, when we say self-study, it's not like we will just, leave you and let you just go do your thing. do your exams whenever you're ready. No, remember, it's a 7-month program. You will be working with a schedule, but more importantly, you will be working with the entire group. So it's not like you have a separate schedule from the rest of the group. No, everyone is working on the same schedule. So you will be doing self-study. On a weekly basis, we're checking in on you to see your progress. Whatever you're having any challenges, we will assist you to help you get out of whatever hole that it is you're in. But that's how this program will be delivered. I will talk more on the program schedule in the next few seconds, but I hope everyone is still with me. If we're still together, please raise your hand, put a message in the chat box, something, just put a reaction on your name. Let's know that we're still together. Because sometimes the network can make you start talking to yourself and you forget that, and it appears like nobody else is there. So thanks to those who have raised their hands. I'm glad that we're still together. So who are the people that can apply? Remember I said we want to bring diversity. So think of diversity, think of how diverse diversity can possibly be. And then these are the people that we want to apply into this program. I do have an interesting analogy that I used to describe this, but I think I'll save you all that drama today. But so 3 sets of people or 3 groups of people we're looking at bringing into this program. Number 1 is women. Are you a woman? Do you identify as a female? We want you in cybersecurity. Remember I said only 10% of the cybersecurity workforce in Canada are women. So we want more people in cyber. We want a league of extraordinary women in cybersecurity. We want to break the bias. Isn't that what we're saying? So if we do want to break the bias, then we want you in cybersecurity. Women, come to cybersecurity. Let's break the bias. We can do this. We are smart enough to do this. I'm not saying this because I'm a woman, but I'm saying this because I'm a woman. Go figure. So yes, if you do identify as female, yes, cybersecurity can be for you. As long as you're a Canadian citizen, you're a permanent resident or a convention refugee, and you are currently residing in Canada, then this one's for you. So if you're a woman and you fall into this category, then start to think about this. Minimum of 18, high school diploma, that is all. So if you have a master's, great. If you have a PhD, fantastic. But we don't need it, right? We just want you to have a barest minimum. That's what we require from you. And so this also makes this program highly competitive because it doesn't require so much from you. But we also want you to not be enrolled in another academic program. When I said earlier that this program is intensive, I assure you it's as intensive as it can possibly be. 7 months, you're going to be doing so much. You're going to have to dedicate minimum of 25 hours of study time every week. That's literally like a part-time job on its own. Now, how much time you dedicate to studying also depends on your personality, right? Some of us grasp things faster than others. Some of us have to read something, I don't know, 2, 3 times before we really do get the gist of it. While some other people, before they even read, all they need to do is glance, and they have, like, I don't know, maybe photographic memories or something. I don't know, but you know, we're all on different, we all learn at different paces. And it's important that we understand our learning styles so that we can play to our strengths. But I will leave that up to you to understand, identify your learning style and optimize that as well. But so we're recommending, and we say that you should not be enrolled in another academic program. The next group of people will be those who want to switch their careers. Something happened during COVID and then you lost your job, your unemployment insurance, because I know that's also in recent times, I've heard a lot of people reach out asking, so I'm on EI, can I still apply for the program? You know, so yes, if anyone here is in that category, don't worry, you can apply. So you've lost your employment or you're underemployed. Who is an underemployed person? So maybe your previous experience, you probably worked maybe as a director of a business unit or something. And then right now you are working a survival job, or you have just a part-time job that you work only 20 hours a week. And obviously you are underemployed. That's not you maximizing your potentials and those skills. So that kind of thing, if you're in that kind of situation, then you will be considered underemployed. And so if you are in this category as well, you can apply for the RBC New Careers in Cyber stream. And of course, as long as you're a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, convention refugee, your minimum of 18, high school diploma, and you are not enrolled in another academic program. So these 3 important requirements are the same thing across all the streams. Now, the new Canadians are people who have lived in Canada no more than 10 years. So you moved to Canada somewhere around 2 years ago, then we're opening this stream to you. So 2 years, 10 years max. And since you moved to Canada, somehow you just have not gotten that job that you will say your dream job, or that aligns with your skills and experience, and you're just struggling. And this is very peculiar, or this is very common amongst newcomers in Canada. It's a reality. These are our struggles, real life struggles, been there, done that. So I can totally relate that a lot of us newcomers, sometimes we struggle with finding the kind of jobs that we want, or getting a job that aligns with our skills. So we're doing something different from our home country, and then we get here, we don't have the Canadian experience. So there's the part where some people are like, I don't know if I want to employ you. They don't say it outrightly. Some say it to your face. That's some do and some don't, right? So these are struggles that we face, and we understand that. And so we're saying you've tried and you just haven't gotten a hang of things. So yes, by all means, you can go ahead and apply into this new Canadian stream as well, as long as you're not more than 10 years in Canada. So if you've been in Canada a year and a half and you qualify for this category, okay, a year and a half, a year, 8 months, you could be able to, you also could apply, because by the time the program starts or by the time program ends, you will definitely be over 2 years in Canada already. So yes, you can go ahead and apply. And of course, same old thing, Canadian citizen, permanent resident, convention refugee, minimum 18 years, high school diploma, and you are not enrolled in another academic program. So these groups of people are the people that we are right now actively recruiting into the cybersecurity workforce. Things could change in the very near future. We could have more streams, but right now, these people are our primary focus. We want to bring them into cybersecurity. And so moving on to the application process, what does this look like? First, it's a 4-step process, right? It's not anything out of this world. Number one, fill in an application form. That's as basic as it can possibly get. Just fill the application form. We only need your resume. So you're going to upload your resume on the application page, and that's it. Just fill in the form, upload your resume, and then we will get back to you. So what do we do when we receive your applications? We validate your eligibility into the program. Are you truly eligible? So we would request for your resume. We'll ask you a bunch of questions in the application form, and we encourage you to please fill these to the best of your abilities. No, just give us truthful information. We would also request for your LinkedIn profile. So try and keep that updated as well with your resume or with your current situation. Fill in the application form. Once we validate your eligibility, we will send you an email asking you to take an aptitude assessment. And just as the name says, it's an aptitude assessment. It doesn't check your knowledge of cybersecurity. Remember, we're not expecting, or you're not expected to have a background in IT or in cybersecurity for you to apply into this program. So no, this is not an aptitude test that checks your knowledge of cybersecurity or IT. It's just an aptitude test. That's it. It just tests your logic, your information processing, your ability to be able to figure things out very quickly. So you can get like a paragraph that has a bunch of information in it. And from that information right in front of you, you deduce the response to the question from below the paragraph. That's just what this is. So you're just going to need to focus, concentrate, and you will be able to figure this out. But one thing I would also say is, if there are questions that have some cybersecurity terms in them, or some IT terms, or some networking terms, and that's understandable, because that is what you are going to be doing. So if you will be learning about this, it's okay that you already start to have an idea what the buzzwords mean. When someone says, what is a data breach, you're not looking, or someone says, what's a malware attack? Or they ask you, what's penetration testing? And you're like, I'm sorry, what does that mean? If you truly want to build a career in cybersecurity, you're not expected to know how to do any of these things, but at least be familiar with those buzzwords, right? That's the barest minimum, and I don't think that's too much to ask of. So just what it will just test your aptitude. And then afterwards, when we receive your aptitude test results, we will then, based on that, invite you to do an online interview. Now, for the aptitude test, you'll be getting 5 days to do that. Then after that, you get another 5 days to do the online interview. What's the interview about? It's not a live session. It just says, it's just a bunch of questions that you need to respond to. So on that portal, you would also be uploading your statement of interest. So if anyone here has applied for a master's program before, or I don't know, maybe a PGD or something, postgraduate diploma or something, you will know that some of these programs also request for statement of intent. So that's it. Why are you interested in this program? How does it align with your career goals and objectives? Where are you now? Where are you going to be? So again, to my analogies, I like to say that, imagine that this is a triangle. One side of the triangle is where you are now. The other side is where you want to be. And then this program is at the bottom of that. So how will this program help you get from point A to point B? How will this program bring your current situation to your future career goals? So imagine that. And of course, this is the program at the bottom of the triangle. So that's really what we want you to be able to tell us. This is where I am now. This is where I want to be. And this is how this program will help me get there. That is my statement of interest. This is by far the best tip that you can get regarding putting together a statement of interest. And of course, you would upload your resume again. So if anything has changed from the time when you applied and when you're uploading when you're doing your interview, please make sure that you update that as well in your resume, and then you upload that. So you'll get a bunch of practice questions to go through. Then afterwards, you get to answer the real interview questions, and then you record your responses. So you have like one question, like 1 minute to prepare for your answers, and then your session starts to record itself. So we get all of this as well. This helps us assess your eligibility into the program. Then finally, you would also be providing us reference. So academic reference, professional reference, that's all we're truly interested in. No personal references. We'll send you a link as well. The referee goes into the website, just fills up the form. That's it. It takes just 10 minutes max. They fill that up and then they're done. So with all of this, we're able to have a holistic view of your application, of your candidacy into the program. That's really what the application process is about. And so in terms of building your cybersecurity knowledge, these are resources that you can take advantage of. These resources I would also be sharing with ACs at the end of the training, of this session, so that you can share with everyone who attended. So don't worry. I don't know, some people may want to take a picture of the screen. That's also okay. But I will send these links over to ACs, and she'll share with everyone who attended this session at the end. So there are some things I also want us to note. We've also noticed that sometimes when some people put in their application, they maybe forgot to add something, or they missed out something, or they put something in there wrongly, and then they want to, verify or change that, and then they put in another application. Please do not send in duplicate applications. If you send in duplicate applications, you may get disqualified from the program, and you don't want that to be the case. So if there's any change whatsoever that you want to update, or if there's something you want to update on your profile, please just send us an email. I'm going to share the email address with you as well later on, but just send an email saying, this was typed in wrongly in my application, and I want to make that change. We will make the change for you. But duplicate applications, not acceptable. Please do not send in duplicate applications. We will be verifying your legal name as well. So we have some people who have a different name on their IDs, and then they put in a different name on the application. It's tough to figure out if you are truly the person, especially in today's world where a lot of people have the same names, right? We want to be able to verify that it is truly you. More importantly, we would also be verifying your address, because you have to be residing in Canada. Our goal is to build the cybersecurity workforce in Canada. We don't want people, so that's why this is currently not open to people who are on work permits or to international students, because there's no assurance that they will remain in Canada. And we want this workforce to remain in Canada as much as we can. Now, we don't have total control over where anybody goes to. You could go through this training and still decide to get a job outside of, but as much as we can, we want to keep this talent within Canada. And that's why we're saying you have to be residing in Canada at the time of the program. It's also important that you are transparent with your residency status. We've seen some people who maybe came into Canada as international students, working their way through to permanent residence. And so at some point, their permanent residence hasn't been approved, but then you apply for the program saying that your permanent residency has been approved. At the time, if you get into the program, you will be required to send in the proof. And at that point, if you do not have the proof, that takes you out of the game. And you don't want that to be the situation. So it's important that if your status has not been verified, just wait till it's verified before you apply. And also in terms of your employment, we find that some people are working part-time, but they don't specify that they work part-time. So as much as possible, let us know the true status of your employment if you are employed. That would help in validating your eligibility and making a decision regarding your eligibility into the program. Now, more into the details of the course. I hope that we are still together. This has been a lot of information, I agree, but I do hope that we're still together. So you know the drill. If we are still together, let's see a reaction from the group. Let's see. I don't see any hands up yet. Thank you very much. Yeah, I always see Imani.
Yeah, the chat is very active. So many questions.
I see
there
that
as
too.
well. Yes.
That's amazing. So thank you everyone again for the reaction. That really does help. It's tough during webinars or sessions like this because you can't even see anybody's face.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a struggle and it's real. So the details of the course. The first one is the Sec 275, and it is the foundations course. Just as the name implies, it is the foundation. So for those of us who have zero technical knowledge, this is where we really need to pay a lot of, actually, just pay attention through the program. But here is that solid foundation that you will need to start to, build up your cybersecurity knowledge. So here you'll be learning fundamental skills of and knowledge in Linux, in programming, networking, computer hardware, operating systems, basic security concepts. That's really what you will be learning here. But then when this course is done, you will then take your first certification. So it's not like you go through the entire course and write your certifications later. No, we're committed to your success and we want you to also take it in bite sizes. We don't want you to be too overwhelmed. The program is already very intensive. We don't want you to also explode or implode, as the case may be. So you take the first course, then you do your first certification. You will be getting access to practice tests. So that kind of helps you as you're studying. You will get access to practice tests so that you can validate or verify that, okay, yes, I truly have retained this information. And then you would, your performance in the practice tests would also, help you figure out the areas where you're lacking, and you can go back and study again, then take a second practice test. So when you then take the second practice test, you definitely know you will do better, and then you can now take the exam afterwards. So right after you take the first exam, then you go for the second one, the Sec 401, which is the security essentials. Now you have a solid foundation. Then you can start to build on your knowledge. Now this foundations course as well, look at it like the gateway. If you do not pass the first certification, you will not be able to proceed to the rest of the program. Unfortunately, that is the reality. So you have to give it your best from the beginning. There's no, I'll see how it goes towards the end. No, if you're in this, you better be in it to win it, because it is going to take a lot of sacrifice from you. We've had nursing mothers join this program. We had someone who had 5 kids. She was part of this program. We had people who were pregnant, people who, were home for one form of extended leave or the other, maybe due to their health challenges and all, but somehow they still had to sacrifice a lot of time to study. So you will be required to study a lot, give it your best from the beginning, so that once you pass the first certification, then you can proceed to the rest of the program. Now the second one, which is the Sec 401, you go through the security essentials course as well. Now you'll be learning a bit more advanced skills in this second course. You started with the basics already. Now you will be building on that knowledge. You'll be learning about network security, cloud essentials, disaster recovery, and a whole lot more. But this again is where you will start to build that knowledge from. So you take the second course as well. With the second course, you start doing your live classes, your boot camp. So the first week of Sec 401 will be 1 week of instructor-led session. And after that 1 week, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., it is mandatory that you attend these live sessions. So after the 1 week, you continue with your self-study again. And then you go through to, at the end of your self-study period, you will take your second certification. Again, certifications can be tough, but you would also get access to practice questions. So that kind of helps you in preparing better for the certification. So you take the second certification, Then you move on to the third one, which is the SEC 504 hacker techniques. Now you'll be learning how to handle incidents. You've learned the basics, you've learned a bit more advanced skills. Now you want to know, how do you handle a real life incident? There's a ransomware attack in your organization. So some people somewhere in the world have taken over your data, and they're saying to you that the only way we can give you this data is if you pay us $500 billion something, and then you start to go back and forth. How do you handle such incidents? You will be learning how that happens. How do you identify vulnerabilities in your network? Again, it gets more interesting. And this particular one also has like really hands-on curriculum, such that you can actually try out this thing using a virtual machine, see what this will look like in real life. It's really interesting, I promise. And then after this, you take your final certification, which is the GCIH. Take your GCIH and then you're good to go. Then you now move on to, how does this all add up? You've learned a lot of technical jargon. That's what I like to call it, because it's very technical. Yes, it is technical. But then how does this connect to a business? How does it impact the business? How does it affect, strategic business decisions? I'm a CEO. How can you justify me paying, I don't know, maybe $100 million or something, or why am I calling so much millions? But how do you justify, me paying $50,000 for maybe a firewall? It makes no sense to me. I'm a business owner. Why do I need to pay that much money for a firewall? And then you're saying to me, this is how. You need to be able to explain to me as a business owner that this is why you're saying I should pay this much money for something. So how does all of this affect the business? You will be learning that. We'll bring in industry experts, we bring in subject matter experts to come talk to you about how this truly affects a business. So this is a sample schedule. I already walked us through this. I would also share a link to the website, to our website, where you can actually see what the real schedule for the next cohort looks like. We have the schedule for the June and the October cohort already. So moving on very quickly, I've said a lot now, and then you're wondering, yeah, whatever, why should I choose your program? I'm going to just tell you a bunch of reasons why this program is truly that once in a lifetime opportunity that I call this. This program, we are particularly dedicated or committed to your success. We want you to succeed, because if you succeed, we succeed. So without you succeeding, we cannot also say that we are successful as an organization. So our success is dependent on your success. Can you beat that? So we're truly dedicated to your success. We have people who will be checking in on you every week. Yes, on a weekly basis. People are calling to check in on you. How are you doing with your study? Did you have any trouble? Where are you at with your study? You also need to give us information so that we can help you, but people will be checking in on you. What is more interesting about this is people who've been through this program have volunteered their time to also check in on you. Why are they doing this? Because they've gotten so much value from this program and they just want to give back to you. Yes, that is how amazing this program was for them, and they want to give back. Now, who best would you hear about something from than someone who has actually gone through that situation? They're on the same boat that you are just about getting on. They went through they walked in the same shoes, so they understand your challenges, and they will be able to provide you practical tips and advice on how to navigate what it is that you're getting yourself into. We will then also provide you access to mentors, right? Technical mentors, people who been in the cybersecurity industry for so long, who would be able to walk you through whatever challenges that you are facing regarding your study. And of course, they will be checking in on you on a weekly basis as well, and they will provide you one-on-one support. We also foster an amazing student community, so you have that sense of community. You do not feel like you're in this alone. More than anything, you can get lifelong relationships from there. You can build, great working relationships from there as well. We also promote, or we facilitate communication among students. So there's a Slack channel dedicated to your cohort, and you will constantly communicate on that Slack channel. We have study groups because we encourage you to study together. Sometimes when you're doing something alone, it may feel like the whole world is, on your head. But just that feeling that you are not doing this alone, that you are with somebody, it helps even for your mental health, because more than anything, the program is already intensive. We don't also want you to break down mentally. So as much as we can, we will be providing you support. In terms of your career development, you will then be getting the best of both worlds. Why do I say that? You are already a client of SOPA. That just helps because you are able to access support from them, and we would also be supporting your career development. We have a team dedicated to helping you succeed, helping you find a job, your resume, interviewing, we connect you with employers, and we have had an amazing success rate in that space. Over 90% of our graduates have actually found jobs in cyber, currently working. Of course, there's a whole bunch of people that also do not, pursue immediately. They want to take a break. Some people then went on their mat leave afterwards. So it depends on where everyone is. But to a large extent, 90% of our people, actually over 90%, already have jobs in cybersecurity. And we also have an amazing alumni community where they're constantly sharing events, providing information about what's happening in the industry, supporting each other professionally. I don't know where it gets better than this. I don't know where you will find this all-encompassing package in one program. Trust me, this program sets you up for success. So if you're still thinking about it, think no more. Just take that leap. Take the leap and you'll be glad that you did. I already talked about career development as well. So I'm just going to move on to so this is what a typical salary looks like, because I know a lot of people are also interested in this part. How much are we going to be earning? So we're looking at somewhere around $55,000 up until $80,000. We do have some outliers in the group, and these are people who somehow are able to land over 100K in their first roles. That works out, right? But that's not always the case. So we cannot take that as an average, but these are the average salaries that we have seen so far amongst our students. And we have our students working all of these places. This list is already bigger than this. These logos are not just slapped on here because they're beautiful, but these are actually places where alumni of this program are currently working. And when I did encourage you to do your research, this is a level of research that I expect you to do, or that I recommend that you do. Look for this kind of roles. Go on YouTube. What's the day in the life of a SOC analyst like? Or what's the day in the life of a security analyst? Why are you doing this? Because you really want to know what it's about, what you're getting yourself into. It's important that you know what you are getting yourself into, so you can make an informed decision regarding your career in cybersecurity. So I am hoping that you do that much research. And for those of us who are not from a technical background, these are transferable skills that you do have that you probably didn't even think about, but you have these skills and they will come in handy for you in the field of cybersecurity. We have amazing alumni stories. I wouldn't read this out to you because, again, I want you to research on your own. So go on LinkedIn, go, I don't know, anywhere, find people who have been part of this program before and just ask them questions. That way you can get, unfiltered, undiluted information from people who've been part of this program. But they will tell you their experience and how valuable this program was to them. We also have alumni stories on our website, so you can go ahead and also look at that in your spare time. That brings me to the end of this presentation. Thank you, everyone who stayed up until now. I commend you. I really think you should give yourself a tap on the back because you have done great. It's very tough to sit through a whole session I've been talking for almost an hour now. That's a lot of time. So thank you everyone who stayed up until now. This is our website, cybersecurecatalyst.ca. You can send us an email at catalysttraining@ryerson.ca. Whatever questions you have regarding the program, you can send an email there. Follow us on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook, and we're everywhere you go, I think. Okay. But yes, thank you everyone. And I'm open to taking questions. Thank you again, yes. Thank you so much.